Peace, love, and light, beautiful souls. Welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Mamina. This is a great new day and a new age. Welcome to the age of Aquarius. For those of you who that's the term that you vibrate with. For those who have a different term for the same age, welcome day one of this new age. Very powerful day. Great day for manifestation. And from this moment on, if you've ever had a doubt of how much your thoughts create your reality, and you guys who are used to my channel, you hear me say all the time, there's no such thing as an insignificant thought. There's really no such thing as a coincidence. Some people will say coincidences are the divine's way of being anonymous, but the matter is we draw in the energies ourselves, our vibration, the vibrations of the people around us, what we tolerate, what we don't tolerate. This is the time to let go of what doesn't serve your highest purpose. This is the time to no longer be afraid of who you truly are and to not try to identify yourself so much by exterior things. So all of the inner work that you've been avoiding for years, it's all going to start coming to a head, and it has been coming to a head throughout 2020. We went through a phase of it in 2012, but now we've reached that moment that we've been becoming prepared for. So a lot of things that you didn't think was real, conversations that you wouldn't have because you thought they were so far-fetched, is all coming into alignment now. Karmatic ties are being broken, and etc. So we're going to break this down. We're going to tap into the energies. I'm using my Soul Sisters cards. This is Maduk's cards. Everything here is from her shop. The link will be in the description for these decks. Let's hop on into it. This is for divine feminines and masculines, by the way. So just so you know, it's not one group over the other. We have Wheel of Fortune, already confirmation to what I was saying. We have the 10, Wheel of Fortune, the 10, the ending of one cycle and the beginning of a new cycle. Because, of course, 1 plus 0 is 1. So once one thing comes to a completion and a close, another thing starts. You are literally on a day of the beginning of a new cycle. Yesterday was the ending of an old cycle. For those of you who are getting tired of hearing it, we can't stress it enough. Yes, karmatic ties are being broken. Those who are procrastinating and breaking their karmatic ties are going through intense levels of dark night of the soul. We are going through it as a collective with certain world events, but again, it's all about your perception. And are you seeing the lessons? Are you picking up on what you need to understand the difference between the fated life and destiny? And I break that down in a podcast at a later date, but just know opportunities are coming in left and right. Some of you might have found opportunities springing up on you today, springing up on you for this week. And you're like, how did I even get that? How did the stars, how did everything come into alignment for this? I didn't even think about it. What have I been telling you guys throughout the majority of my readings for those of you who are used to my channel? I said, back in March, the message came in clear. Get ready to be ready, because not ready is not an option. They weren't talking about, oh, just disasters. They're talking about the blessings coming in, that divine timing. Divine timing happens now. I cannot stress that enough to you guys. But whether you see it or not depends on whether you are ready to, whether you have allowed yourself to be open to be ready to. Are you ready to receive the knowledge necessary? Are you ready to really tap into your discernment? Are you ready to think completely for yourself and to grow and evolve? To have your mentors and your teachers, but to remember they're only bringing out what already exists within you. These readings are for clarity and guidance. Your inner knowing, that's what we tap into, and we start to pull that out. Now, for some people, we may have to yank a little bit, and for others, it's a gentle, okay, come this way, come into the light type of thing. But it's always with your choice. It's always by you tapping into your higher knowledge and higher power. So this is the Wheel of Fortune. This is the moment to manifest. You are made of love and good luck and all the other things that you could think of. You have all the tools spiritually. You can manifest them physically and mentally, getting clarity to tap into all of that. In other words, I'm telling you to align your subconscious, your conscious, and your higher conscious into one being, activating the light body and God body within you. That's where we are right now. This is the point of movement. This is the turning point. And as you can see, the Wheel of Fortune points that out. And what was I just talking about? The Magician comes right out. Power, resourcefulness, manifestation, creativity. Do you understand where we're going with this? Do you see? And I want you to pay attention to the industry here, because we have flowers and we know that flowers bloom during certain seasons, and they regress. You might call it a death, but it's however you want to see it. They go through that period to be reborn anew the next season around. This is kind of like your blooming stage, but you got to go through the petals falling off first. So that's pretty much what we've been going through. 2020 was the petals falling off, right? And then it's activated by the power of the winter solstice on top of that, the coming together energy on top of that. So this is why you're starting to see, with everyone having to be separate, the people you thought you never wanted to be around, you didn't really want to see, you're realizing in that moment how much their energy has played a major part in your life, in your mannerisms, and how you view yourself, your idea of family, and etc. Again, it's the mirror. You have to start facing self and friends and family, and you have to start tapping into that inner manifestation. Do you notice how we have smoke here? And the first thing I heard was sage. So it's the cleansing of the space. It's the clearing of the space. It's making room for all of the new things coming in, whether you may have to get rid of some things, whether you may have to move and change a location. That came out in the last reading that I did, which was pulling on the energy of Jupiter and Saturn. Even in that reading, we're also pulling in on the energy, because it's Monday, we're pulling in on the energy of the moon too, because every Monday is Moon Day. So you have all these major things taking place all on one day, creating a great time to really sit down and plan what you want to do this week. And then these energies don't just go away. It's not like, oh, it's okay, it's for today, and then that's it. The momentum stays, and you can carry it even further once you start tapping into it. So tap into those resources, tap into that inner power, tap into that creativity, take the action necessary, because expansion is key here. Right, let's get into the next thing. Talking about expansion, Three of Wands. Three of Wands. You guys have heard me reference Avatar before, and I tell you that that's one of the most simplified ways that they've described tapping into the chakra system, Avatar: Last Airbender. And there's a moment when he has to tap in, when he has to go through his let go period, where you see a giant version of him, and he's holding this orb, this energetic orb, in the palm of his hand. He's a part of and centered in the universe all at once. That's where we are right now. That's the opportunity before you right now. Now you have an option. Will you seize those opportunities, grow, expand, come together? Unity, all those excuses, I give a 50%, you give 50%. No. We both giving 100% now. What have I been preparing you guys for? It's not about the give and take. It's about the give and receive. You've been taught give and take, and we are now, that era ended just yesterday. That give and take mentality, it's gone. Great teachers would say the Pisces like air, whatever you want to call it, that is out of here. We're now stepping into that moment where the coming together and the molding and the truths and the commitments and all those words that you've been taught to run from, they're starting to show themselves. And again, for those who put up the fight against it, for those who just, for whatever reason, they want to keep the world in the dark ages, everyone's going through dark night of the soul, but those people are going to have a really hard time. So it's really time to ask yourself, are you ready for success? Are you ready to step into your confidence? Are you ready to expand? Because it is your choice. You do have free will. I want you guys to also understand your responsibilities. You have free will, and you have your personal purpose. And there's many layers to that. It may, I can say it just personal purpose, but under that could be thousands of things. However, anything you do that's a part of your existence, let alone your purpose, it affects the collective. So you play a part. So when people speak about, whether it's karma, whether it's dualities and all of that, just keep in mind, you make up a lot of that just by how you talk, interact with people, and how you express your gifts, your talents. Everyone's gifted with something. Some tap into certain areas more than others. Everyone has a psychic ability. Some are trained in theirs, and first of all, there's the acknowledgement of it, and then there's the being trained or being able to just be guided, whether it's through your spirit guides or an earthly teacher, whichever way it happens. The bottom line is, this is the moment to acknowledge those energies, and this is the moment to step into this new enlightenment. This is the moment to grow. I can't get over saying the word expand more and more. And even on the card, it says the bigger picture. It's time to see the bigger pictures. Okay. Now we're going to get into What's some of the things you need to let go of? What's some of the things that you need more of in your life? And we're going to get into it with these bottom rows of the oracles down here. We have Cap for all of the millennials out there. We have what they're saying is not true. Becoming someone you're not, lies, bullshit, faking. I heard no cap in my head the moment I saw the word. So a lot of you are realizing that you have to take the cap off of some bullshit. You just got to like let the bullshit fall out. Just dump it out and actually be filled of something that's genuine. So if you've been putting on a facade, you've been trying to blend in with a certain crowd, and this, look, this isn't restricted to social media. This isn't restricted to that. You could be wearing a certain mask when you're around family. Then you wear a different one when you're with your lover. Then you wear a different one when you're in school. And it just keeps going to the point, if you keep doing that long enough, you have a hard time finding your own identity because you identify yourself as all those different masks. It's kind of like if I was to say to you genuinely, and I want you guys to inhale on this and hold it for a moment and breathe out. If I was to ask you genuinely, who are you? Who are you? Are you your name? Are you your background? Are you your ethnic group? Who are you? Because the reality is the core of who you are is connected to everything. So you can't just keep simplifying yourself by saying, okay, well, my name's Diane. Well, my name is Marcus. Well, my name, and those are some names that channeled in. But you get what I'm saying. Your identity is far deeper than that. Are you ready to tap into the core of who you are and the many layers that then follow that core? Or will you just keep settling for, I'm my mom's favorite kid, or I'm my dad's so-called misfortune and blah, 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 right? It's no cap. no cap, right? The fake stuff, more and more, you're going to see people fight to keep it, but more and more you're going to see that the fake, and it's always been this way, the fake always eventually falls at the wayside, which is why manipulative means come about to kind of keep that energy afloat. But this is at the time where it's like a lot of that's being pushed out. You're going to see a pushback because obviously anything that sees it's on its way out tries to struggle. Like I tell you guys, misery doesn't actually love company. Misery just needs to make other forms of misery to prove its existence. So it's the same thing when it comes to people who operate from anger and anxiety. They need other people to be angry. Some victims need there to be other victims so that they can feel like, see, I have a reason to stay stuck in this mentality or to be mean or project my bull onto someone else. Well, now the mirror is being turned around. They're having to deal with people that are exactly like them. Or they're having to deal with the results of what happens when they've maintained that mentality. Now, it's not about recognizing that, hey, you may be that person, and so now there's no saving for you. No, if you've come across this video and you resonate with being that person that has hurt people, this is the time to acknowledge that. Now come up out of the self-pity and guilt and do what you have to do to fix it. This is the moment. What do you need to get into? Nutrition, of course. I've also been saying this a lot. This is the time to really focus on raising not only your immune system from a physical point of view, which is what this is more about, like recognizing your body's a temple and how sacred it is, male or female. Okay, because sometimes y'all like to get caught up on patriarchal or society ideas of body and this and that, whether it's the shaming or the lack of whatever. At the end of the day, this is a sacred vessel. What you do to it will determine how much you tap into all your other streams of gifts and whatnot. So it's not just about being mindful of what you're doing with your body, but your mind, your spiritual mind, your physical mind, and of course, how you go on this spiritual path. Stop putting up, blinders. And some people right now, you're still in that energy of, okay, aliens are real, but not deities or vice versa. My friend, newsflash, it's all real, my loves. You're going to see that very soon. Some of you already have dreams that are tripping you out right now. Okay. Some of you are like, the fact that I'm writing, I'm watching a psychic reading. Some of you might be even writing a book of something that you're like, this is sci-fi or whatever. I don't know where this came from. I just woke up one day and started putting pen to paper and this came out. I don't know what I'm channeling right now. You didn't even know what channeling was until this moment. You know what I mean? But this is about, again, full alignment. But what can you start with? If you find it hard to start with the spiritual right away, because of course you have to go within, you got to ask questions you wouldn't normally ask, blah, 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 blah. The physical is a great way to start. Meditation, yoga, anything that aligns the chakras, that align the body, that align the mind, that causes you to recognize how to be peaceful in stillness. It's not a matter of, oh, I can't sit still. It's a matter of, are you willing to sit still? There's a difference. You have the choice. So your body is your temple. Try changing your eating habits. Okay. But again, all those other things apply. Let's see what else we got. Shipping. As I was saying, karmatic ties, whether y'all like them or not, whether you think you with the so-called one, even though you go through problems more than a little bit, more than what should be tolerated, karmatic ties are coming to the end and divine sacred unions are coming together. Now, while this card says they believe in the relationship, wishing you stay together, rooting for the partnership, this isn't restricted to just couples, soul family, business partners. For a while you've been taught that business is cruel and it's supposed to be cruel and it's supposed to be every man for himself and a dog eat dog world and etc. But true alignments and true success comes when we actually have space for acceptance and when we have space for growth. More and more people are starting to create businesses where they actually give a damn about their employees. So even though we're still in that capitalism space, you do have individuals, some in secret, some right in front of your face, who are trying to create platforms, and you should be mindful of this and support them when you can, where they don't want to work you to the bone until you're like barely breathing and now you got to work 3 jobs just to put one meal on the table. They want for you to understand abundance, and they also want for you to tap into your own gifts. Now, abundance doesn't mean that you don't put in the work. Of course, you still have to get up and do work and, get your money and whatnot. But if you thought that depending solely upon big capital business or money, I mean, those people in those positions are fighting so hard right now because they're realizing, shit. We built our foundation on a lack of loyalty, because why would anybody coming into a new age, once they see the opportunity to evolve, want to stay loyal to something that wasn't loyal to them, that didn't care about their livelihood for real, only cared about how quick they could make $1 for their business? This is the time, like you might have heard of companies like Mind Valley or different things like that. A similar idea where people work, but they're loved. They love the people that they're working with, and they're loved by their employer. There's an understanding of respect. Your position isn't beneath that individual in the sense that you're a lower human. You might not be the manager yet, or you might not be the supervisor yet, but your position's still important. It keeps the gears going. I always say, from an entertainment point of view, it's like when you go to a tour. The tour can't happen if the stage manager is not present, if the person who does the lights don't put in the light work. Everything that you see the end product of, it's 100 people or more doing that. Assistants bringing in merch so that you guys can purchase. It's a lot of stuff happening at one single time. And if any one of those parts go off, it can set the whole thing to derail. So it's important to be grateful. And again, we're in that coming together stage. It's important to be grateful for all the different people around. It's kind of like 6 of Wands energy. The 6 of Wands card is not just about victory. It's about, do you recognize all the people that helped you get to this victory? So this shipping card is so much deeper. The energy with it is so much deeper than just relationships are coming together and yay. So right now, focus on pull in genuine relationships. Don't keep settling for people who aren't really in your corner and trying to please them. No cap. Start pulling in the relationships by setting your vibration, by loving yourself. You start to manifest in your true soul family. They've probably already been around you. Sometimes they may live in another state, but you've always had access to them. You just didn't realize it until you started getting into certain communities that you're led to from a higher vibration and energetic field. So it's just an idea for you to focus on, to get some guidance. Look at that. We have the colors you wear. Use magic by wearing colors that attract the things you want. And it's interesting that this is a pale pink, because a lot of times people describe one of the strong manifestation auras to be a pale pink. But the chakra system, the 7. There's far more. There's far more gates within the body than I could probably ever tell you in just a short video or a short podcast. Like, I would have to do a program for something like that. But there are a lot of gates within your body along, different points. This is why acupuncture is so powerful, because acupuncture is not just hitting key things on the body to help a tense muscle relax. It's also hitting key gates on the body. This is why now you have people doing the tapping when they can't go to an acupuncturist. They do the tapping technique. Some of you may need to get into that. But there are certain colors that will intensify the areas in your life that you may need to work on. So if you find you're very attracted to yellow, if you're very attracted to greens or anything like that, dark colors are probably your dark night of the soul, but dark colors also have their purpose. However, you do want to step more into wearing brighter things to uplift your energy. So when you can add a little color to your ensemble, do that. Because if you ever notice, if you pay attention to what you wear, a person that walks around in like black all day, even if their life is fairly decent, they're a little bit more triggered than normal because they're constantly like in darkness. Okay, just darkness. So add a little color. It can be earrings and little things like that, a watch, a bracelet, something, especially if it's sacred jewelry like beads, chakra beads. I recommend that for anyone trying to align their chakras, because not only does it help you in meditation energetically, but when you look at your wrists, it's like a constant reminder to check where your balance is, to check where your physical, mental, and spiritual flexibility, what its energy currently is at that time. So that's interesting. Now we're going to tap into some really super, super divine energy before we wrap this up. We have goddess energy. We have Damara. I think I said that right. This is the protection of the inner child. This is very important because, like I said, some of you are still going through dark night of the soul. And a lot of times, dark night of the soul, it involves a lot of child work. It involves a lot of going within and, first of all, forgiving yourself for being mad at your inner child to begin with. Then forgiving the inner child for whatever mistakes you may have been blaming that inner child for, regardless of what was adopted and where it came from, and working that through your system from those inner child ages, which are normally from the time you're born to at least about 7 years old. And then after 7, you're still forgiving yourself. So you're forgiving yourself in your adolescent years, and you work up to your current moment, cleansing the entire system from birth around. Because some things, believe it or not, energetically or even mentally, you were starting to learn when you were a kid. You're born more consciously aware. I have a whole thing about spirit babies coming in far more detail, but I do have a podcast you can listen to for now about how babies are more consciously aware. However, you're still in an influence state as well. So there's a lot of things that you adopted, may not have been your intent to, but you still adopted. And so now you have to cleanse out a lot of those older beliefs and whatnot. So we have that this beautiful deity is here to help bring peace and harmony to troubled families, protect the young, and healing your inner child. Foresight and guidance. Take care of your own inner child. The child within you yearns for attention, understanding, care, and support. And you would know this if you've dealt with families where you felt misunderstood. You really didn't feel like your family was in your corner. And if you pay attention, my love, at some point you were no longer in your corner because those people weren't, or because that teacher, whoever didn't believe in you, whatever your circumstances may have been, once that happened, you lost some type of faith and belief in self. And so now it's time to tap back into that. Let's look at this from the male perspective. So we have divine feminine, we have the male, we have Uriel. Look at that, light god. Also, for those of you who know, Archangel Uriel. So magical uses. Uriel helps you with major changes. You see what we have laid out here in your life, and make the transition smoother, inner wisdom and healing. You see how healing is such a big part of this message? So we have foresight and guidance. You're currently going through a major life transition, that is forcing you to make changes to your existing life and embrace those changes. What was I just saying? We did this whole reading. See, I love the synchronicities, and I love when you guys can see the synchronicities. I channeled this before I even shuffle the cards. So when I shuffle the cards and they're just laying there waiting to be revealed for all of us to see, and they just confirm for you everything that I could have told you verbally, it's a beautiful experience, because your mind, the gears in your mind start to turn, and you start really thinking and tapping into your own intuition and your own discernment at the same time. Because that's the other key to this. You're responsible for your actions and reactions. The more you tap into your own inner knowledge of knowing, you know why this message resonates. You just need to allow yourself to see, feel, and hear for yourself through your inner being why it resonates. What's the altar? Woo! Oh, I knew this was going to come out. Knew it. 7 powers. For those of you who know the proper term of this is known as the 7 African powers. These are the Orishas. So I already know some of y'all going to resonate with this, because some of you are here on behalf of like Yamaye, Oshun. You've been led here through those tunnels, through that type of connection. You've probably been surfing, and then this might pop up with that energy. So this is very powerful. So we have summoned the 7 Orishas to assist with overcoming obstacles and connect to your inner power. Connecting to your inner power. Ending old cycles that no longer serve you, to step into your new beginning, which starts today for the whole collective of the world, whether anyone likes it or not. And then learning how to expand and really show, feel, tap into your confidence, success, and etc. Personal prayer and sacrifice to an Orisha of your choice is encouraged to help you on your journey through life. And please do not be put off by the word sacrifice, because some of y'all hear sacrifice and you go to a dark place. Okay, believe it or not, prior to people warping a lot of things and a lot of also negative vibrational beings coming about, sacrifices were simple things like flowers, honey, or getting rid of something in your life that no longer serves you, but you have this attachment to. So you may have an attachment right now to a photo of an ex that you need to tear up and throw away. Because let me put it to you this way. Let's say, for those of you here for divine union type readings, let's say your twin flame or soulmate was or is an ex, right? That old photo came from a time period where y'all couldn't stand each other, or from a time period that led to a separation. Why do you want to carry that energy into the next phase? For those of you, because honestly, a lot of you, your ex, look, I'm blunt with y'all. For a lot of you, your ex isn't your twin flame. Okay? But regardless, why do you want to carry that energy of that person? It's one thing if you're not really feeling it, but you know when you feel compelled to throw something away and you just go, no, I can't, because memories or something else. But you have no good memories with that person. Or the memories, okay, this one happy memory came and then it triggered a slew of others. If you're working on mending a relationship with somebody who was previously a lover, who had to go through growths and expansions before they could come back together with you, those old photos may trigger you staying in an older mentality, which means even though it's a new relationship, for the most part, it's blossoming anew, you're still stuck in the old pains of whatever they did, whatever you did. So sometimes that's one of the things you have to sacrifice. Get rid of something that's not serving the purpose. Now, there are key things that you can sacrifice for the Orishas that you could actually research in detail, and you go with where your vibration goes. However, just because these are the beings that came out for this reading, this is not limited to that. So whichever your divine guidance, whomever your divine guidance comes from and that altar comes from, you should already kind of have an idea of what I'm talking about. But even if you didn't, even if you're just new to it, that's the understanding. Are you prepared to get rid of or move away from or cut communication from people, places, and things that no longer serve your purpose? You don't do it with harshness and hate. You do it with love in the heart and hoping that they have a better enlightenment for themselves, but realizing that your paths, the way they are, just can't exist together with you being able to go to a higher vibration. Not everyone's meant to level up with you. Are you willing to make those changes? Now, that's what's channeling in here. So if whoever needed to hear that, there you go. Let's go to the bottom of the decks because I'm feeling compelled to. So for the bottom of the decks for the millennial oracle, look at that. We have hustle and considering Jupiter energy. Jupiter is that prosperity, that wealth, that luck. That's one of the main energies, some of the main energies rather, that you can pull in with Jupiter. So we have side hustle, freelance, making ends meet, self-employment. I keep hearing self-employment for a lot of you. Self-employment through hobbies, extra income, passive income, as they would say. Something that a lot of people are realizing more and more. Relying on the standard 9 to 5 it's not the business. So people are starting to realize they have to tap into higher streams of income. We have Page of Pentacles. We've been talking about those divine offerings and things manifesting into your physical world. For some of you, I feel like you are the Knight of Pentacles, and for others, I feel like it's a Knight of Pentacle, whether it's a business partner, a friend, a lover, whomever, whatever, coming in. When they come in, they're going to have patience with you. They're going to add some practical solutions to a lot of your problems, and they're going to work hard and be very committed. And considering we had shipping out here, and again, that wasn't just restricted for love. It's not restricted for just love. What else do we have? We have, some of y'all been thinking about getting healthier. Confirmation: cook more, reduce the urge to eat out, and cook more meals at home. I recommend this as well because with everything going on, you really want to know how to do things for yourself, how to grow. If you have the opportunity, if you have the space, how to grow your own food. If you can't grow your own food, you at least want to know how to cook things from scratch. Okay, so just remember that I told y'all that. Don't act brand new later. And with ancestors, the family tree, look at that. Considering Orishas came out, that's amazing. That's amazing. So we have connect with your ancestors through ritual. Ask them to assist you in your magical work. Recognize the trend. I cannot see that word. Okay. Recognize the generational patterns, pretty much. You might be carrying from your ancestors and address it. Okay, so that goes back into healing the inner child, healing family drama. Sometimes it comes from our ancestors that are way, way back. And sometimes it's coming right directly from mother, father, and etc. We have Cardiwin, goddess of rebirth. Call upon Cardiwin to help you create change, transformation again, confirmation of transformation in your life, or when you need a boost to inspire you. You have reached the end of a cycle. Don't fear this ending. Let go. Let it go. Let it go. Let it go. So that something new can enter your life. Is that not exactly what I said? I do believe that was exactly what I said. And that this is just I when I tell y'all I love when this happens. We have Shango, god of thunder, Papa Shango. Listen. Orishas. So a Orisha decided to show up. We have call upon Shango if you need justice, protection, prosperity, good luck, power, passion, or love. Is that not everything you see laid here? Foresight and guidance. Anything you have to manipulate to keep will not be yours to keep. Karmatic ties. Be sure it's not you or something else manipulating. So check yourselves, my loves, what you're being told. Are you trying to manipulate a situation? Are you allowing someone to manipulate you? What's really going on? Go within, tap in, fix and cure that. Yeah. That's your reading, my loves. And I'm going to call it because my eyes are getting tired. I've been on this energetic journey all weekend with Rama Festival and everything else. I'm also going to put the pre-party Rama Festival link in the description. I do believe that you may still be able, either through a subscription or through the ticket link, get access to the festival itself. You guys would have to go to their page to look into that, but the pre-party is free. It's free to watch, and I give the power of I am discussion there. But now it is time for me to take my rest with much love and much, much peace. Peace, love, and light, beautiful souls.